This is the LifeSmart 5-person hot tub, and the biggest thing it changed for me is how easy it is to get a real, quiet soak without turning my backyard into a construction project. I plug it in, keep the cover on, and when I am ready, I slip into warm, steady water with mood lighting and a gentle waterfall. That rhythm has made winding down at home feel effortless. I would call this a plug-and-play backyard spa for people who want comfort and simplicity more than extreme hydrotherapy. It fits a small family, a couple, or a few friends, and it works especially well for someone who wants a real hot tub experience without hiring an electrician for a complex setup. If you have never owned a spa before, or you want something you can run off a standard household outlet, this sits in a very comfortable spot. The design is modern and understated with a sand-colored shell that does not scream for attention. The shape is a roomy rectangle, and that matters more than I expected. There are 4 shaped seats and one deeper spot that feels like a captain's chair. The footwell has a nice indent, so feet are not competing for the same space. I am 6'3", and I can sit with my shoulders under the water without tucking in awkwardly. The inside surface has a slight texture. The first time I sat down it felt a little rough, but after a couple of soaks it just felt grippy and I stopped noticing it. The included cover is lightweight enough that I can move it solo without wrestling, which I appreciate when I just want a quick soak. The cover feels decent, not premium. It has held heat well, but I do wonder how many seasons it will last. One design quirk that I noticed early on is the lack of a true cup holder. There is a ledge, but it is not secure enough for a drink if people are moving around. I added a small side table and that solved it. Setup sounded intimidating on paper, but it turned out to be simple. I set it on foam pads to take out any vibration and give the base a solid feel. I filled it with a garden hose, plugged it into a dedicated 110-volt outlet, and let it get to work. I chose to stay with the standard plug-and-play configuration rather than hardwiring for 220 volts. If you want faster recovery and slightly better efficiency, hardwiring is an option, but for me the standard outlet has been more than fine. The first heat-up took patience. I started it in the evening and it was up to soaking temperature the next afternoon with winter air hovering near freezing. From there, it has been easy to maintain. The insulation is strong, so as long as I keep the cover on when I am not using it, it holds temperature without much fuss. Day-to-day use is straightforward. The control panel is simple enough that I do not think about it anymore. I set the temperature to 104 degrees Fahrenheit for deep soaks, and sometimes I keep it closer to 98 degrees Fahrenheit for longer social sessions. The multicolor lights add a little glow at night. I usually set one color rather than cycle, and that quieter look makes the backyard feel calm. The waterfall is more than a gimmick. It gives a soft sound that helps me relax, and I find myself turning it on almost every time. The jet layout is well thought out. There are 28 jets spread across the seats, and each spot gets a fair share. They are adjustable, so I can dial them back or shut a few off if I want a calmer soak. If you are expecting a deep tissue massage, this is not that. I would call the jets soothing rather than intense. After a long day, my back and shoulders get steady relief, but it stops short of the pounding pressure I have felt in high-end hydrotherapy tubs. Noise from the pump is a gentle hum. I can hold a normal conversation without raising my voice, which makes it easy to actually relax with other people. Real-world use has highlighted a few things I did not fully appreciate from the specs. With 4 adults, the tub feels cozy but not cramped. I prefer that number over 5 because nobody is bumping knees and every seat gets good water flow. When 4 people get in, the water level rises more than you might expect, so a bit of splash out is normal and topping off every so often is part of the routine. The jets work best when they are fully submerged, so keeping the water line in the right zone makes a real difference. On a windy evening, I noticed the water cools a little faster with the waterfall running, so I shut it off for the last few minutes and that helps preserve heat. During one long winter soak that ran over an hour, the water temperature held steady enough that I never felt chilled, which speaks to the insulation doing its job. Maintenance has been manageable. There is an ozone generator built in, which helps keep the water clear and reduces how often I add chemicals. I clean the filter with a hose about once a week or every other week depending on use. Draining is simple once you make sure you have access to the drain at the base. I am glad I placed the tub so that the drain is not blocked. Refilling and reheating is the biggest time commitment, and because the insulation is solid, I prefer to keep it at temperature through the colder months rather than letting it cool off and reheating from scratch. On my power bill, I saw an increase, but it was way less than running central heat for long hours. Full foam insulation and the thermal cover clearly help. I have also learned to be disciplined about keeping the cover on immediately after I get out, and that cuts heat loss a lot. One of my favorite use cases has been a post-workout reset. I set the temperature to 102 degrees Fahrenheit, aim the back jets on the captain's chair, turn on the waterfall, and hold the lights on a warm amber. 15 to 20 minutes in that setup and my shoulders loosen up without feeling drained. On weekends, I do a morning soak at around 98 degrees Fahrenheit with coffee, no jets, just the waterfall and a single soft color. It turns a cold morning into something I actually look forward to. Hosting friends has been easy too. 4 adults fit nicely, and with the lights dialed in and the pump on low, we can chat without shouting over water noise. It is not a party machine with blasting power, and I like that. It is a calm place to sit and unwind. A few thoughtful touches stand out. The rectangular footprint fits against a fence line more gracefully than a circle, and that saves yard space. The seats have just enough contour to keep me planted without creating pressure points. The footwell design means I am not knocking shins with the person across from me. The cover is light enough for a solo lift, which matters when I sneak in a quick soak before bed. I also appreciate that it runs off a standard dedicated outlet. Being able to put it in place, plug it in, and enjoy it without calling contractors is a real advantage. It is not perfect, and that is important to say. The jets are relaxing rather than powerful. The cover feels more basic than premium. There is no real cup holder, so I added a small table. The initial heat up is a waiting game, especially in cold weather, but none of those points have stopped me from using it several times a week. The combination of easy setup, consistent heat, comfortable seating, quiet operation, and low-stress maintenance has been exactly what I wanted. I would recommend the LifeSmart 5-person hot tub to anyone who wants a reliable backyard soak with minimal fuss. If your priority is extreme massage pressure, this will feel too gentle. If you want a simple, well-insulated plug-and-play spa that looks clean, fits 4 adults comfortably, offers calming lights and a real waterfall, and does not turn maintenance into a chore, it is a great fit. It has made my evenings and weekends feel more relaxed and more intentional, and it has done that without asking me to become a full-time spa manager. If this video helped, please subscribe to the channel and share your questions or your own tips in the comments below. Thank you for watching.